So hello friends, this is Shayla. I am already waiting for you all and to connect with you, and I'm very happy to connect with you again. And with some of you, but of course with many of you I already know you also in a person, so that's why I mean again. We can start with the questions or expressing whatever you would like to express from your heart, so we can tune into those energies and help you with receiving the energetic answers you desire to receive. So we put first into the list Linda. If you want to start, then you can share.
Sure, thank you for the honor.
Yeah.
Hello, Shayla. Welcome.
Hello.
Shayla, my question.
Yes.
I have a few, and I understand it's about 15 minutes we have. So
15-20. Yeah.
All right, excellent. I want to lose weight. I would like to have the same weight as I had when I was 20 years old. And besides nutrition and exercise, what energetic work can I do to reach that goal?
Yeah, we would need to dive deeper into those energies and to see, also for me to see deeper, like what I can give you the advices, but it depends if you, well, of course the food and the exercise as you said, but there is a lot of course, energetic things about the stress, for example, some kind of stress, and usually for women who are more in tune with their emotions and emotional body, it's just a different way that women just by their biology are different and how it works for them. So there can be a lot of stress in an emotional level that you have, and to release from it, and so it can be also working with your mind and so on. So it really depends if you, for example, you can see also these kind of like remnants of those emotions that are maybe stuck somewhere or buried through the way, for example, how you relate to your situation and the food and the exercise and so on. If you are able to do it, if you can follow it, or that emotional energetic part is the first that is always somehow blocking you. But of course, if you would even do and push yourself into the exercises and so on, if there is always chance to do it, but of course, if there is something that is blocking you, that you need to release for, in a way, healing, because also losing weight is a way of healing yourself. So for healing, you need to unblock something and release. So even if sometimes it can happen that way, that if you would do everything in a physical way that you can do without trying to release something, some traumas that can be, also not that specific, like connecting you with something specific in your life, but something more complex, then it may not work at all, the exercises and so on. So it depends on what is your situation, and if you can say something more precise or specific about where you are maybe failing, or you think you are failing, so we can somehow maybe change your mind and maybe redirect you. Because even when you are looking at it like failure, that is also blocking you from seeing the opportunity in a moment to change, and be thankful also for the situation and accepting it as it is. So it's not failure. So can you share something more about it?
Yes, it is exactly as you say. I have some emotional blockages. I'm actually a dietitian by academic profession, But I feel deep inside my emotional body is screaming not to lose weight. When I go to the gym or really start really eating clean and healthy, my emotional body is telling me, how can I do this to myself? How can I try to make myself remove what the body has built up, or to change what the body has built up? So I really feel that there's a defense mechanism, emotional defense mechanism, that do not want me to lose weight because of something that's blocked in the subconscious.
Yes. So when you are in that situation, so it feels to me that it's about like really the body is like you said, screaming that it's on a level of body, but it's about releasing those. This is, for example, very specifically about the diet and the change. This is also what channel already knows and want to deliver in other videos and so on, this kind of thing, that when you are trying to detox yourself, you are actually making the body release all those toxins in a physical way, but they are there to actually numb the emotional or energetic pain in a way. So when you release the toxins and they start to run through your body and, they are stirred up, also those energies get released. So in that moment, be more conscious of what is happening to you, to understand that this is happening. And when you are more conscious, you understand it, so you can better ground yourself and be present with the feeling and accept it. Then the next thing is like what you can do for yourself in that moment. Of course, there are different ways, but one thing that is very helpful is breathing. Don't do just in a gym exercises that are just about muscles or something like that. More helpful or beneficial in this situation and for balancing those energies that are getting out of your system, of your muscles even, and for example fat and everything, then the balancing of those, or even releasing and really cleaning the energetic field, because it's not just emotion but also the mind. Definitely you sometimes feel that even your mind get more busy, some strange thoughts and so on. So don't identify them. When you see that it's just a really emotional, energetic and mental detox at the same time, then when you, for example, go outside, walk and consciously breathe, the best is also to do more aerobic exercise that is most comfortable with you, or even going into the forest if you have something close, and hugging trees and this kind of thing that can help you. But some intense breathing exercise can be like very fast help for cleaning the energetic body. For example, me, Iveta, right now, the best that she tried was Wim Hof breathing exercise. That is the most efficient for actually burning away all those energies from your body. When you do at least four those cycles, then you are completely clean of those energies. So, for example, this. But remember that this is what is happening, and when it happens, be more conscious and know that what you are and that you are not this. And the other part is also that we wanted to mention is that then when you in a way think that you fail and you decide not to actually follow until the end the cleaning, when you feel these energies are stirred up, when you eat against something that is numbing that pain or your mind, then this is something that is even less beneficial for you than even starting something like a detox, because those energies, with those new, in a way, toxins and those particles, an energetic way you again bury in your system, and they are more active when you are trying to detoxify from those energies. And then when you try to numb them, they are still more active, and they are still more harming you in a way that each time when you go into the detox, it can feel harder.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I think that was a satisfying answer to that question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can see I still have about 7 minutes. I would like to ask another question. Well, two quick questions. Shayla, do you have a feeling of which master degree I should study? Because I want something that could fit in with spiritual work and humanitarian work in developing countries. I mean, I have a knack for entrepreneurship, but I don't know which master degree to study.
Well, for that, I really don't know you that much, or the path for that you need to take, and definitely you should learn better for yourself to feel really into it. Maybe if you are not sure about when you are looking into those pathways, maybe the path for what you actually want to create, or you have these visions, is not leading through some kind of education that is classical, through this kind of universities and so on, and it can be something different. Maybe you could really go into different places and learn in a different ways, not those, even like a scholarship. That could be it, or even something completely else to gain. But you need to then, for example, this is also helpful when you would clean yourself more, and even from those energies that are busy in your body and your field, then you would be able to be really much more calm, and then you would feel where is it pulling you more, and even then also the synchronicity would give you like where to look, and it would be just giving you those ideas by itself, because you are accelerating yourself when you clean the body, because body, although it's physical, it's still the energy, and the vibration of it means that you are in a then higher vibrational or faster state of being of your whole self. So that's why the universe can bring you more these ideas when you are able to process them and feel them. Or maybe they are even there, but you are not just, you are just in the state where you cannot really feel. So I cannot give you this information, but definitely this is something that is very important for humans to find, to trust themselves and follow that flow, even to some illogical places, or because you are not using it just with like where to move with your profession or something like that, but in every situation, with even when you are talking to someone, you can tune into the feeling of what is most right to say in that moment, and you just flow then much more automatically through your life. So definitely the first thing would be probably to take care of yourself, and I don't mean that thing that you were asking before, but in overall, that it's always most important to get yourself into the best state you can, but of course don't be too hard on yourself then when you are not achieving something. Just the relaxation and acceptation, and then you would be able to be more of yourself and create more of what you came here to do.
Thank you so much for answering that question. It makes a lot more sense to me than you might be aware of. So it makes absolutely sense. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
There's 3 minutes left of my round. My last thing is Shayla. I have an invitation for you. I'm the chairman of a CE5 group in Denmark. Once a month we go out and invite ETs and UFOs to show up, and next time will be February 17th of time. I would be delighted if you would like to show up and let your spacecraft show up as much as at a frequency that is safe for you and your brothers and sisters and friends, the YahYels. So on behalf of the C5 group, we would love for you to come and make yourself known, both on our electronic devices and very much physically, so we can see you and sense you and see you with our physical eyes. We would love that. So yes, please come.
Yes, definitely. We are always, in a general, very happy to interact with you in ways that we can, and we are allowed in the moment, because sorry, because sometimes I need to drink. Because sometimes the expectations can make you not feel us actually, or the other species that we can be there or interact with you and so on, and even physically in your energetic field. But sometimes it's about how you are able to feel us, or how much you can allow us to do. So I don't know what is with my throat, but anyway. A little bit distracting, sorry. So yes, when you call on us in a general way, on YahYel, and even on me personally, if you would call, well, now I know about it more directly, and I receive and accept the invitation. So I will pop there somewhere in some way and share my energy with you. But mostly you would feel me, and I would wish if you would feel me through your hearts, the energy, when you remember me, remember my energy and my heart, and I will be in a way present within your minds and hearts in an energetic way. Even I could be closer, but this is the encounter, that how you can get even closer to our physical reality, or merging physical realities. Is about feeling us through your intuition, your heart, and so on. So this is the first level of activation, or getting more aware of our energies. Then we can also show up more likely, so you can see us. Of course, an excitement, definitely, in the heart is very important.
Thank you so much, Shayla. Mm-hmm. Me and the rest of the group look forward to sensing you on the 17th of February. Thank you so much. And this was the last of my talk, so I will mute my mic and wish you the best, Shayla. God bless you. And for the rest in this group, please enjoy and continue. I will mute. Thank you.
Yes, thank you also. And God bless you also. And very grateful for your questions and interaction and feeling into your energy, and also for giving us the permission to work with you and connect with your energy. So the next, I believe, was Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, Shayla. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for doing these group sessions. I hope this is the first of many. It's very interesting. So first of all, yeah, thank you. And like before I get to the questions that I had prepared, I kind of just want to follow up on something that Linda had said about inviting you to speak through electronic devices. First of all, let me just say that in where I live, in my part of the country in southeastern Louisiana, our culture is very, how do I put this? In our culture, speaking to spirits is very big. We often use electronic devices.
Uh-huh.
And I've gone to some local plantations here and spoken to former slaves through electronic devices like the SB7 that I'm holding in my hand right now. It's funny that Linda mentioned that, because about 20 minutes before the session, I turned my device on and I was like, Shayla, can you hear me? And I didn't hear any voices through it. So but basically my question is are you able to communicate through devices like this? And like, are you willing to?
Mm, I'm not sure, like, what is it? I mean, me, even. So I don't know. Can
Yeah,
you?
it's like it's kind of like a basically a radio that sweeps through different radio frequencies, like either AM or FM, like real fast. So typically, like if you want to talk to spirits, like they're able to come through and talk to you. I mean, like I've talked to like different spirits
Mm-hmm.
on this box in particular, but I mean basically it's just like a an electronic like radio that sweeps through like
Mm-hmm.
all different frequencies very quick and voices can come through. So like do you ever have experience like talking to people through stuff like this?
That sounds spooky, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And would you like to really hear me, even if I would sound some really strange, not really like me, because those kind of devices can, manipulate the speech or the energy in ways that can, well, to us sound funny, but to you spooky.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like I'm wondering how you sound like in real life because I know, speaking through Yvette, you're basically just using her vocal cords. So I was wondering what you sound like in reality.
Yeah, basically, this channeling is about sharing my energy. I don't really speak and I don't that much really use her energy. We just connect with the energy and it just automatically flows. I don't use anything really inside of her body. It just my wish to share the thoughts and it can just flow from her heart and through the energetic system and our bond. So it's very automatic and open, so it's not really using it that way, maybe, as you thought. But about those devices, well, to us they seem pretty much old-fashioned in a way. They're hard to use. Of course, we could, and sometimes it's funny that some actually use it and play with it. But also, if you would want to ask something to do, well, definitely first thing is also to work with yourself. If you wouldn't be scared of it, maybe what would be more beneficial in that situation would be completely imaging as much as you can. Like really, if I would tell you that after this I will speak through it. Can you imagine that probability is so real that you would imagine how would you feel? And that's the most important thing, that what the feeling it would create within you. Even if if it would be excitement and so on, it's already that you are experiencing it. Although you don't have the physical proof, but still the experience within yourself is much more valuable than getting this kind of external confirmations or that something would happen like this. So that is one part of it, but yeah, we don't use that much of these things because they are in a way too simple, and we are excited about different ways of communication through energies, and because this is very metallic and not a live thing. So we enjoy much more of the direct connection with you.
Okay, yeah, it was just kind of a random question that I thought of. I mean, yeah, if I want to talk to you in the future, I'll just ask Yvette to to put you through. It's easier to hear you that way anyway. But anyway, like,
But you
yeah,
can
to move
also
on.
yourself, It's not about that channel is the only one that can connect with me. You can, and everybody, when we will move together closer, then everybody would be able to communicate with everybody. This is just one step, and you can do it the same as she's doing, and other channelers that can also channel me or connect with me. So you can do it on your own too.
Are you saying I can channel you?
Well, in a way, if you would activate, it's just in a way practice. If you would be able to firstly, for example, feel my energy, my heart, and so on, then we can start activating more of your other chakras, like telepathy and exchange of those things. And then when you would allow yourself to speak what do you feel that you are getting from me, it's another step for getting, in a way, like channeling me. So it's basically available to anyone, but it depends on a purpose also. If you really would like to, if you would feel into it and so on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like my purpose of talking to you and like other ETs through different channelers is just like knowledge and curiosity and to share information with people. So I mean, yeah, like if you want to speak through me, like I don't mind that at all. Just don't hurt me. No, but no, like okay. So to move on to my main questions that I had for today, like the last time we talked, I asked about if people from Earth are allowed to help teach the YahYel, and you said that like, yeah, they do all the time, but like once they consciously decide that they want to help, it means that they've already been doing it for a long time. And you said that goes for you as well, you know? And like the first time, like you said, it's so quick that like I didn't even hear it like at the time. Like I only heard it afterwards listening to the recording. You kind of snuck it in there real quick. But and like okay, so like for the last 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, I've been wondering like, you know, if I have some connection with the YahYel, like would I even want to consciously know about it at this point in time, since like my life is a bit nuts with work and everything else. And so like I wasn't even sure if I wanted to ask you about it today, but I kind of decided at the last minute, like, I mean, like, I don't want you to like tell me everything about every detail if I have some sort of connection with you, but I mean, basically like just yes or no, like, have I ever, you know, met any YahYel in person or whatever?
Yes, even we also met, because I'm still in some way very dominant there in the hybridization program, or we have to find out some other words to say about that place, on a ship, let's say, mothership with the children and so on. That's still I have a lot of activities there. Yeah, Shayla, what did you say?
It was kind of cutting out for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Your audio, it was cutting out for a minute. I wasn't able to hear like what you were saying. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, like your audio was cutting out for like whenever you started talking. Sorry. Can you say that again? I can hear you fine now. Can you just repeat what you were saying?
Yes. Okay. I hope it will work until the end. Anyway, yes, that's we met in a person. I mean. And so yes, you are there, visiting us sometimes, and you are part of the teaching process also for children, and you are sharing in your specific ways something with them, and since I am also very present in all those things that we are doing there, I just couldn't not meet you, So yes, we had a energetic connection, and we met each other. So you should already know my frequency. Well, and your body also knows that you were also taken or visited us in a physical way. But it of course happens on the heart desire that is maybe unconscious, but even it happens when you project, when you are sleeping, you choose where you go and when your heart is being called. So before that, when we work with you also in a physical way, we had a lot of talk about it, and your wishes also to somehow put it together with your life and so on, and the energy is not just your soul, but in overall like these encounters we can also plan according to your physical life, like when it's the best time, for example, for yourself, but also in a way for about the energies of like if there is maybe too much acceleration that your body have to integrate more or so, then there is less likely that we would have take you or something like that. But sometimes some people also need help and so on. But in your case, like it depends on these things, for example.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. Cool. Do you know when this started for me? Like, how many years ago did this start happening with me?
It's not so long ago. Actually, the physical contact or so is actually very recent. It's just maybe, I don't know, I feel it's like I'm getting some strange numbers or something. I don't know what is that. But to the time frame, it feels like something about a year or less than a year or the year plus like 1/3 or something like that. I'm not sure like how I perceive it now. But it's for like having more intense connection, for example, with us. So before you could pop, with us or on the ships and so on, or in many different places over the universe for many years before that. So, but the more intense connection and working with us started just recently.
Interesting. Cool. Now, something I was talking about with Yvette and our friend Zion Zeta was like Zion Zeta has told me that like apparently like a gray has also been abducting me, so to speak. And I'm wondering like, is this physically like is my physical body actually being taken somewhere, or is it more the idea that like at night like my consciousness, I don't know, my soul or whatever is just like projecting somewhere? I mean, is it like. Basically, that's my question. Is it like my physical body is being taken somewhere, or is it just like my consciousness?
Well, with you, it was more based on energy, not physically, and your astral body was taken, or they helped you, or you co-created with them. But at the same time, they also visited you. But as they visited you, they were working mostly on your energetic body and so on. Not that much on the physical.
Okay.
Or just very little, but most of it was interacting with your energy or astral body and taking, in a way, some kind of samples or information from you. But it mostly was about the energy. But of course, the body can feel it, and maybe sometimes it was so deeply going into the energetic field that you could maybe later felt it a little bit as a pain after you woke up or something, but it was more like a numb feeling, not really that much hurting you. I'm not sure like if I'm bullshitting completely.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I guess my time is almost up, so like the last question that I have, are you familiar at all with the feline race, which has a spokesperson named Metax?
Yes. We met, yeah, and energetically, of course, yes. Why?
Cool. Well, the only reason I ask is about a week ago, like I talked to him through a session with the channeler David Lauer, and like at the end of the session, he just mentioned that like he was aware that I had talked to you, and I was like, how does he know that? Like, I didn't tell David that I had talked to Shayla or anybody from the YahYel. So, okay, I was just curious, like, how he knew that. And I was wondering if you guys knew each other. Okay, so that answers that question.
Well, it doesn't really answer that question, like why he knew it, but yeah, we energetically met even in a channeling co-creation in a way before. Together, so that's how we know each other's frequency more, or where we connected deeper. But yeah.
So yeah, like my question was basically like, does the Metac race have some sort of, I don't know, I guess the term would be like diplomatic affiliations with the YahYel?
Well, not really that much, like diplomatic, you said, or well, I don't know. It's just words. Yeah, I mean, I will find my own. It's about like the race. Of course, we know each other, and we have the connections and so on, like with many other races, and these connections are good. Connections, and we in some way co-create, but it's a distant co-creation of what is happening, for example, with between us, or this program that we have. It's not so much connected with that. It's just other probably that could be called diplomatic connections, but of course our diplomatic connections also contain a lot of friendship energy and so on, so we are also, in a way, friends.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe I'll sneak in one last final quick question. It's maybe just a simple yes or no. Like I was planning on not even asking you if I have any offspring or whatever the term would be with the YahYel, any children, so to speak. Since that would totally change my view on the world or whatever. But maybe just a yes or no. Do I have any? Has that started for me yet?
Offspring. If you're asking about how to breed children, then yes. But offspring sounds.
Yeah, sorry, that's a bad term. Children's a better term.
Yes, you have some kind of children connections. That there can be different ways to create or so, but yes, you have those that are very closely connected to you.
How many?
Oh, how many? Those are the closest I feel there. Well, it depends, how you would like to, where you would like to put the boundary or so. But that depends also on you how much you would like to connect. But maybe 5 are really dear to you. 3 are more connected and deeper with the connection, but also there are 5 that could be also more dominant for you and your experience and connection.
Okay, very interesting. I think I'm over my time, so I won't ask you details about them, but just simply if you don't mind passing a message to them, just tell them I love them and I hope they're good little rascals.
Yeah, they know it, and you already told them it many times, so they love you too, of course.
Okay. Thank you, Shayla. Yeah, thanks for doing these sessions through Yvette, and I hope it's the first of many to come. And yeah, I don't have any more questions. Again, thank you, and yeah, maybe in the future I'll book a session with Yvette so I can learn more about my children. But yeah, okay, no more questions. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Well, I'm always excited, and I would do this all the time, but it's about Yvette, how often she feels into it and can do it. So, yes, definitely, we will try our best to be able to do it more often. Shane?
Hi, pleasure to speak to you.
Hi.
It was very interesting what Ryan finished off with, talking about hybrid children, because one of my questions was related to your role as taking care of hybrid children. And I recently heard a message from Spirit saying, I have a daughter, and I always feel so warm and playful and an exciting energy. And so it makes sense that I was connecting with hybrid children and a playfulness, and it feels like my inner child is timeless, and there's a real galactic connection with Sirius and a Sirius starship. And I know that I travel in astral to go onto this ship and to prepare for my role. And I've been linking the two together of the playfulness of the hybrid children and maybe my connection there with my role on the Sirius starship and getting into the information and the channeling and the energies. So maybe that's a convoluted way of stating it, but I did wonder more if the connection with the hybrid children, if I had any hybrid children that I feel like I'm sensing.
So what is the question?
Do I have a daughter?
Yes, that's one. Well, you are already connecting with her. Like, I am even asking, like, do you feel the energy over her? Because we were feeling a lot of energy when you were speaking about her, that you already have a pretty good energetic connection and feeling of her.
Yes, I have a feeling of her, but in my mind I get doubtful, or I think that it's maybe a loved one in spirit, or another connection, rather than a hybrid child connection. So I guess
Yeah, okay, what I was feeling when you were talking about that specific energy was that it's not connected to directly to hybrid children. It kind of like has like a energetic energy of the child. Okay, this is multi-layered information, I feel. Like, okay, what I was feeling first was, it's like you are connecting to the more levels of that being. You feel mostly the spirit level of that being, that can have many incarnations and so on. It's just that non-physical part of the being that I feel is that part is not in any way connected really with the hybrid children or so, but I feel that connection with the Sirius. Well, everything what you said, I just felt there was the right energy behind it. So probably what you just need to understand, or what you are asking me, is that you feel everything. Like, when you say you are not sure, like which part it is, if it's spirit or something, you know, this and that. But the truth is that you feel all of them, all of the levels of it. And yes, there is this other, this child in a way that is more grounded into the physical form that is in our co-creation with the hybrid children. So there is the girl, a little girl that is connected with that energy, that bigger energy that is in a way also kind of like your spirit guide. So you can connect with this being through that kind of love, through being the parent, and like a deepen or change the help of the expand the love that you feel for this guide, in a way that it's a higher energy entity that is non-physical, that is the same in a way embodying in that little child. It can give you different perspective on some energies that she's sharing and what she can teach you. So you probably are, for you, it seems like it's easier to connect with those higher vibrational energies than the physical being itself, because it's more concentrated. It's maybe then harder to find the resonance of the being, while the spirit is omnipresent and everywhere. So it's easier for you. And what I feel actually is, again, sorry that we always have to tell you this, but you know, the grounding actually would help you to feel even like these more precise vibrations of the physical beings, and then you would be more certain in those feelings that you have and vibrations that you feel. It would, in a way, like spread your senses, and you would know that you feel it in a newer way, and the new way you would feel. It would give you that confirmation back that you are really feeling something more right now. So to tune me more into the child itself, it would be beneficial if you would also ground yourself more, and to feel it. I feel it like very tiny, almost like a marble or something for you that you cannot somehow find in a way. And this spirit part is so huge, and so it's harder for you to feel it. It's a tiny being, but when I zoom in a way to see her and feel her, like her physical body, so really you need to be more grounded within yourself and into this reality and so on, in order to be able to project your energy in a physical way to the physical body, to this girl, for example, that you would feel her in like normal size in a way, like in front of you, like you are really in front of her and with her. So that's why grounding is so important for many different things, but this is the way how it could help you or work for you when you would ground. So you can, I would say something else to everybody, like about grounding and so on, but in your case it's like this is what you could expect when you would ground more and really be more in this reality fearlessly and so on. Then this is what you in a way can expect to expand or to amplify, but really sometimes it cannot happen until you don't say to the universe or the flow on or higher self that you are really ready with the being courageous to ground here.
Thank you. That makes so much sense, because I really was feeling the multi-dimensional, all-encompassing spirit of everything, and it's wonderful. It's great. But yeah, I could definitely deal with making more time to ground my energy. So that's really helpful. Thank you. That's lovely.
Yes, you're welcome. And even I noticed that I needed to unground a little bit myself to talk to you, because sometimes I'm mirroring other people. And when I was delivering the message, I felt that I went a little bit out from my lower chakras, and then I was able to relax. So I feel there is, because when my body is mirroring also you, I can tell you also through what I feel through my body, it also can help you. And I really feel that maybe, I don't know, you could somehow move your attention more into your legs and somehow doing grounding with your legs mostly. And that would probably help you with grounding automatically rest of you. But really there is something about, the lower part, the emotional part, the second chakra, and your butt and thighs, that area really like putting it on the ground here in some way and relaxing it.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been thinking of getting back into yoga and getting a bit more physical, because where I've not been very well recently, and I haven't been using my butt, so to speak. I've been very much sitting around, and the higher top part of me has been very active when, my legs have been very still lately. So that's probably why I'm not as grounded as I could be. So that's great to understand. My other question quickly was, do you have any connections with a Sirius starship at all? Do you know, as being the YahYel, it's sort of, as I guess there are separate alliances. I wondered if there was a shared alliance with the YahYel and Sirius, perhaps.
Yes, so there are, of course, Sirius, there are many different also, or several different races that even come from that area. But we have our personal, in a way, also connection with those energies. So we have really wide connections or list of connections. So we also have good relationships with the races there. But I don't know, like, what exactly you would like to know about it, or?
Well, I felt that I was, in my last lifetime, or my parallel lifetime, as there's no time and space, that I was a Syrian being, but I wasn't an aquatic being. but I felt like I was very revolutionary. But I'm not sure if there was a gender there or what exactly from that lifetime do I need to understand in this lifetime to help me on my purpose here.
Well, I feel like the other being that I cannot say who that is kind of like asking you. Well, I can tell you afterwards, but I cannot say it publicly. And did you ground it in some way finally? all those connections and beings that you are connecting with, did you somehow ground it into your real life in a way?
So maybe to ground myself should be my priority before the rest of the other aspects come forth?
Well, of course, you can always cherish those and appreciate and so on. So the connection is always there. But of course, always this is most important because you see that you cannot live here and have those experiences without good body and functioning body. So loving yourself means also like what you do for yourself in a physical way. So that is always the first priority for even us like beings that work with you, to give yourself enough love so you can feel much better than you feel and to really help yourself. So, but yeah, I feel that I'm speaking for more beings right now that are connecting with you. It's not just Shayla. That's and for like I feel like I'm speaking for in a general way for all or most of your connections in a way that they appreciate that you are connecting with them and you want to continue, but they also really want you to ground yourself more, or maybe not really just ground, but really be fully yourself, or fuller than you are now, that you can be more and feel much better. So, and they will always send you love and their support and so on, but use their support to you for finding that ground and that place for you on the earth before then you would continue exploring more with them. They are not saying like they forbid you or something, but this is what they wish, and any being that loves you would wish for you to feel much more of yourself and to feel fuller spectrum of the love that you are.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And I definitely feel in my preparation is to ground myself more, and yeah, that's great to know that they're there loving me. And thank you very much. And thank you for what you do. And I'll pass you to the next.
Yes.
Is it Tala is next? Is it?
Bread? Is there bread?
Brad?
Are you still there? And Shane, please mute yourself also. Thank you.
I'm here. Is it showing me or not?
I can see actually anyone, but it doesn't matter. I'm not recording any video, so you are just in my ears.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know you didn't see me. Anyways, this has been great. I wanted to tell you that earlier on I was getting a lot of energy, especially behind my eyes. Mm-hmm. And it was very pronounced and very unique. I feel energy other places in my face and along the jaw and chin and stuff, but this was a unique experience, the feeling your energy during this call.
Thank you for being so open, but of course it's not just my energy, but many other energies, and even your own personal that are connecting even when we are not speaking with you.
Yes, but how it resonated with you and I in the same sharing energy this time. Last week when we talked to Abetka, and I do understand adding the K, what that means in Slovakia. I brought up crystals, or she brought up crystals, and I asked more about that, and I wanted to know if you would like to discuss that, how you use crystals. I know I resonate very much with them, so I'd love to hear about your experience with them.
Yes, definitely. I was hoping to speak about it because in the last call, she didn't allow me to speak much about it. And even afterwards, I wanted to tell her more about it, but she was blocking me because she was hoping you would ask about it, during the call. And she didn't want to channel it before call. But yeah, anyway, so already before she felt that I would like to speak at first about the crystals in a general way, because we live in a different vibrational reality than you. So in a way, and it can be quite different in a way. So even it's not about like what is higher or lower and so on. It's just the nature of the vibration creates something different within our reality. So even our crystals are something a little bit different than what you have on the earth, but we can call them crystals too. And they have similar also the look, or even like the energy, or definitely if you would see it, you would say that it's crystal. But yeah, we use them for building actually. Even you heard about like ships, we can use it for ships, but what I wanted to share with you is that we even build the buildings with them, in our cities, because on our planet we can have cities that are sometimes bigger than like some small villages, and they are all built with these materials, with this kind of crystal that is something living and is still part of the earth. Well, Ivetka is now thinking that she probably was already channeling it with Ryan. I'm not sure. But I think this is because I'm probably seeing something what I already seen. But anyway, sorry. So yes, we have the buildings that we can, these crystals, these materials are part of the nature of our reality, and the planet has a certain vibration that is natural. So of course every part of that nature can have some similar and unique vibrations or frequencies. But when you, for example, take these crystals in a way, so they have a different frequency, for example, from the forests, but they are still natural to the vibration of the planet. So when we build our cities, they are in a same vibrational resonance. So it's not disrupting anything in the field of the planet. So it is very in a harmonic with the all energies. So that's why our cities are not so toxic in a way to the planet, that the planet would feel like it's something that doesn't really belong to her, or maybe belonging is not the best way to say it, but I guess you get the idea. Because, for example, the materials you create on Earth, that they are more dead or not so alive and not vibrating. The vibrational resonance from the resonance of the earth and natural resonances is very different when you create those kind of materials. So our materials are more natural. They can be even manufactured. We can do that also, but we can do it with that way that we create the materials that are in harmony with our planet. So in that way, it's almost like within your body, this thing about micro and macrocosm, like everything is mirroring everything. So even like with the body, we can use this analogy that when you have something in your body that is that what vibration is not very aligned with yourself, then it can turn into some disease. For example, it can be cancer or something different. It's something that is not natural to you and can then harm you in a bigger way. So, for example, this is also when you would take it to the planetary level, then also this kind of like when you put the building that is so different vibration of the nature, then it's influencing also much larger area around it and the earth itself. So it's not, so in a way, like the earth is kind of like sick from having humans. That is also a joke, like it. But of course I don't mean it like in a judgmental way. We are just using this as analogy. But so analogy for like the buildings that we create, we always make sure that we are not in a way aggressive towards something, some other living being or vibrations that we don't want to hurt in a way that goes even in a different way of how we live, for example, like no wars and so on. So we create our reality in a different way. So that's why we also don't want to, and it's our nature, it's from our love that we create our reality this way, and we do it when we do it in this way, we feel much more nurtured even with ourselves and as a collective with the planet. So we do it from love and then feel even more love, and so this is how we create our reality and cities. So for crystals, this is what I wanted to share. And in smaller ways of using them, of course, if it's the material, then you can do many things with them, and we are mostly practical with them in some ways, but it can be, of course, practical. That doesn't mean that it cannot be playful. It can be also playful. So in that way, our games, let's say, with those kind of materials or crystals are maybe more complicated than you use your crystals. So, for example, you use them for healing and this kind of things, and we don't use them that much for healing because we don't need it so much or so. We can, of course, use them as something that would tune us into the certain vibration or feeling, but for us, it's almost like a tasting the candy. So it's not so like a large, if we would have just a small, in a way, a stone or crystal with us, and we like to create with them bigger in that way, and that's what is exciting. That's why I was sharing about it. This is how we create it when it's really nurturing our spirit and the creative energy within us. So that's why I wanted to share this way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love the sound of being able to use what's natural materials for you to as building blocks for all sorts of things. I imagine when I envision crystals, I think of them as of course very hard and rigid. Although I know everything is vibrating and whatnot, but when I hold a crystal, it seems very hard. Are you using it in the form that it already is, or are you able to modify it and shape it to what you want to build with it? And if you are shaping it, how? Is it temperature? Is it consciousness, or what?
Well, of course, the first thing is definitely because when I mentioned that we can manufacture them, so we are creating them in a way. So, of course, we can manipulate also the shapes that we need. For example, the cities are in a way also grown. Let's say that way. It's not made from the one or like a specific blocks, like a bricks that created, but it's a coherent one piece. So you can have a big building from just one piece of the coherent material. So I guess that answers your question. So definitely we have to shape it in some way into that form. But into like how we do it, give me a moment. Because I was feeling before that she wanted me to somehow connect or so into or project me into some area of like how they really created or so, and to connect to the other beings that are more professional in it or they are doing it. So she wanted it to show me through other beings also that So give me a moment. What I can see. Yeah, I stopped a little bit of a flow right now, but now Shayla. So I wanted to say the channeler, but it's better to say it out loud rather than in mind, so we can get again into the flow. So yeah, so don't think that much about like how to connect or so. Just as you were doing it, just allow it. Don't think so much always, or most of the time, that you need to know something that you don't know. So yeah, when we create those or within our race, it's creating it with our technology, of course. It means that we are working with the vibrations. I don't know how to translate this, or it's about almost vibrating it into being, or into existing. It's not completely from the thin air, but there are some materials or particles that are being put into the place from which we create them, and so we can use even our big ships in a way that are for this purpose, to create the field of creating that kind of building that we are still, talking about as an example. Then I see it more like energetic energies and lights in a way. So it's really hard for me to translate it. So it kind of looks like really mostly just the energies, and they physicalize it somehow through their technology into the specific vibration. It's probably something even really just about their technology, how they even teleport or use their ships and mechanism, how they move from the location to the other through time and space, that everything in their technology is based on that kind of thing that I cannot properly go into. But those kind of things, how they do it, is also it's like they apply the same kind of like a physics also in a different way of creating for example, the building. For example, this one, I see some kind of tower, for example, and it really looks like it doesn't have sharp edges or anything. It's very like a round and so on, and it really is like very smooth in a way. And sometimes it even looks like it's more like an artistic thing, or part of it, of course, is artistic thing because they want to be creative. I'm receiving from her that's creating art in letting Shayla again, like creating art within our society is very important because it gives us again this feeling of that we are creating, and that's what we love to do. And so this part of even like a visual part of it is very important for us. So we are creating the art as much as we can everywhere in different ways. But I guess I cannot go much into like how they are really doing it at this moment.
That's wonderful. It certainly gave us something to think about and to stretch our imaginations. I have to share, I was in a meditation not too long ago, a week or two maybe, and I had a little vision. I don't have a lot of them usually, but I did. In this case, it was like I was looking out over what I first called a landscape, but I really felt strongly that it was a cityscape. But it was weird for me to think of it as a cityscape because there were more rounded buildings that went up and curved instead of the normally what we think of as skyscrapers on Earth. And it was, but I felt cityscape, although my brain was not happy with that because they were round and they were different sizes and they were colorful and beautiful and I'm just like, what you're talking about here makes me think of that, and so I had to share that.
Yes. Actually, even our shapes and everything, we have we like round things. You wouldn't actually found that much of the sharp edges in our spaces and so on. It is very smooth, everything, because it's also connecting with our nature that is in a way like softer, or even like there's feminine energy is much more cherished within our race and so on, and that creates, or that kind of tunement of that energy is making us to feel more comfortable in this kind of space.
Very nice. I love the sound of that and the feel of it, actually. I did want to ask one personal question, and then, if we end up having time, I might have a second one if you offer that option. But I have been feeling a lot lately, for couple months, whatever, I don't know exactly, this strong Arcturian connection. Every time a channel mentions that an Arcturian is coming in, or a transmission from an Arcturian, I get my crown opens up. Sometimes it explodes open. And when I sit and listen to a long transmission, Arcturian transmission, I'm having the most amazing experiences. And so I wanted to ask you if you could give me any insight into that as far as a connection, anything you pick up on that, if you don't mind.
Well, first is that when you started speaking about it, I was feeling a lot of energy going into me, through my crown, and also more like here, top, back, head, and the spine, because I have my own connection with the Arcturian energy, and the conduit, actually, I opened it through myself. So that was the energy going down. So your connection, of course, is... So I was feeling to even speak through or from the Arcturian part of me, that kind of energy that is, in a way, one of or levels of me being higher, in higher levels, in some way. That probably some would say Arcturian starseed, but I don't consider it that way, or I see it in different ways. But from that part of me, there is familiarity always with those kind of energies, and because we, Arcturians, or this energy of Arcturus, we are stabilizing the energies, and the conduit is very important for all of you, and is the bridge for you with your home, in a way, where you came from, and when you are always, of course. So when you are connecting with or through the Arcturian conduit, you can feel yourself more. You can get more of your own energy, of your spirit into yourself, your higher versions of yourself. So there is always a passage to us, and for you personally, so this was for everybody actually, but for you personally, it is it was also, of course, this what we said, but also I feel that it just almost, I'm not sure if it's for everybody, but for you it feels like you are part of that kind of consciousness or something. that is part of you, and you like great part of you, or what you are, is part of the collective of the Arcturus in a way, or those energies, or part of your energies of the star itself. So that's why you feel that strong connection with it, that you can bring those energies to the earth, because you are conduit also for those energies, and you can be more. So we are grateful that you are doing it and opening that connection. And you can do it also later just yourself when you acknowledge that connection that you have with those energies, and it's part of you, and you can open that conduit also. And each time when you would meditate, those kind of energies can go through you also and ground within the earth plane. So all that is the planet and the humanity going through can be balanced also with your help through those energies. So there are many roles that people have on the earth, and there are those who are helping to balance through being this kind of conduit to get more of our energies of balancing you and helping you this way. So staying balanced yourself, meditating, and of course you can use those channels for Arcturian energy to get more open, and you can stay open all the time. And then as you walk through your life, you can be always balancing around yourself in that balanced state. Of course, that is crucial for balancing. That, for example, when you are also, it's fine because you are human. You are sometimes balancing also just yourself and so on, and that is less likely that we could use you for balancing more. But it's not a judgment. We can also help you just personally. But you can be that kind of conduit that is working in a larger scale for helping this shift.
That's very much what I would like to do. I mean, with the meditation group and the meditations I'm leading, I would very much like to be able to help do that balancing. May I give you one little bit of feedback? When we were talking, the whole time we've been talking, I've been feeling the energy in the eyes, like I was describing when we first started. And my eyes are teary. When you started answering my question about the Arcturians, the energy at first completely shifted up into my crown. And then the more you talked, then I got a combination of a real strong feeling in the crown and back and down into the eyes. So the kind of a combination of the two. I also sensed or felt or noticed, I thought, that your cadence, the pace of your talk, and even maybe the timbre changed while you were answering that question.
Yes, there's also a lot of heat in the body right now and different energy. I can feel it. I feel it a lot, like really deeply, like going. That's kind of like a dark blue or dark purple energy going deep into me. And what I feel about your, it feels like you are a little bit blocked, and so that's why it can feel painful. A little bit even behind your eyes and so on. So
I don't think of it as painful.
But pressure. There is pressure, and that means that you are not properly allowing that energy to go through you. That's why you are still not properly or just yourself activated in a way to be that kind of conduit. So it's I don't know. I'm trying to feel into like how can I help you with this, or just even from them, because I had my own experience with that opening, and for me it just happened. I just allowed it. It was for me it was painful, but it was amazing pain. And in the beginning, but it was all the same that you say. It's for me, and I'm connecting still with those energies as I'm speaking. But I feel like giving you this maybe when I describe it, maybe you would be able to feel into it and maybe open yourself more and get it more through you. So I was feeling like this big, like cone, or how is it called, was pushed into my head, and I felt like splitting of my head in a way. So that was a little bit painful part, but it felt good because I knew that it was energy. So it was really like a splitting. I felt like my head was split before the thing I was about to do. And then when I started to, I was not sure like what to do in the situation. I knew that I was meant to do something there. I was working with the portals before, and I was opening or trying to open the portal outside of me in somewhere in front of my door. But then I was still always feeling that when I was projecting it open there, I was always feeling it was pushing through me. So I moved myself. So it was just really opening the portal how I was doing externally before. It was just allowing it to open through myself. And as I moved the attention into myself and did the same energetic thing, it completely opened, wide open through me. And now I feel it goes even like into my second and root chakra. And I immediately was receiving through it that this is Arcturian conduit. So in some way, you probably, I don't know what advice to give you, but in some way
I did. I relaxed into it and just like let it come in instead of blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I still have that same immense energy, but it's not painful. It's not pressure. It feels like it's flowing now.
Okay, so
just your description and sharing the experience that you had, I think it's more like what I feel if I'm in a meditation where I'm already relaxed and not just like sitting in the office. And so I see I can emulate what I feel in a meditation based on what you just described and what I felt in your experience, your sharing of your experience, I think.
Yes, definitely. And this is still Arcturian conduit and talking from it, and that you can always invite us, when you will put just the intention like a strong, because you already know our frequency and energy. When you will be ready, go into the meditation and so on, do whatever you need to relax and so on. And then you invite us to work with you more. You can even project it into the future in a way that you invite us at a certain time and day of your experience when you know that you will be able to connect with us, and give yourself the time preparation for it, the excitement, feeling through it, and so on until you get there. It doesn't mean like that you have to do it as soon as that you are able. You may have a free time, but you will set the intention for some specific date. Maybe you can even feel it within your with your intuition, like what the time or the day is the best. So tune into your intuition, set it there, and invite us. And until then, even we can work with you more, because this is giving us permission and time to work with you during your sleeping time and so on, and to prepare you for that. And so you can, through this kind of thing, activate it even more. Of course, you can then use also many different permission sleeps, like in between or during the experience itself. If you feel like to some frequencies listening and so on, just go with the feeling that you would have and so on.
I'm creating and leading an original meditation for the new moon next Thursday at 4:00 Eastern. So I'm going to start thinking in terms of focusing on that time and being open to the energies. And I may have some obviously between now and then, but I've already given myself a date and time that I will be, already welcoming them to join in and the energies to be present at that time. That's wonderful. I love that.
Yeah. I see there are 4 people So not everybody is here. So 2 are missing. I guess I would need to give them time outside of this call. So Lucas is there? Hello, hello. No? And Talia. And who is there? Ryan, are you still
here.
there? You are here. Okay, great.
Talia, yeah.
Yeah, great. So you can talk. I will switch to Shayla from this energy. Okay, leaving them behind. Yeah. Shayla is much lighter, I have to say. Although I don't mean like this energy is heavy or something. It's strong. Yeah, it's strong, but I don't connect with them so consciously and often. So that's why I was not used to that energy, but still I'm fine. So, okay, so Talia, can we continue?
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
How long are you here?
In this group.
Call, yes. When did you join?
I joined at 6. Oh no, sorry. Because it's 7:30 a.m. here in Australia. I was 20 minutes late because I had issues with Skype.
Yeah, but it's fine. You know. I hoped you would join later, so that's fine. And yeah, you heard obviously a lot anyway. So where you want to take this? You already shared something with me.
I would like to know, do I have a specific mission and purpose here on Earth as Talia?
Yeah, we already connected with those things before, and well, it was in some way our personal or like exchange of that we live together and we talk. I mean, Shayla is always already talking. That's in our home time we were already talking about you. So the energies of all behind everything what you already expressed through the energy in the chat before was to remember. That of course the answer was not about really the mission in a way. That we cannot give you like a specific answer, but it was about giving yourself the permission to be without judgments right now, who you are, who you need to be. That you feel that what you are doing right now, like cleaning yourself and so on, is most important. So that is always your mission or your purpose here. And the more people are doing it also or choosing to do it, it's the mission. Then when you choose by your feeling, when you are following to be more of yourself, and you change what you are doing and so on, then it's also your mission. So everything when you are following that feeling to be more of yourself in this realm, in this reality that humans have and so on in this earth, then you will always be going through that pathway that would be leading for you, that would be leading you also to find the other ways how you can also expand. So first, before the bigger expansion that you are searching for in your mind, you need that inner balance or healing or how you call it to give the credit in the moment or to the moment that you are in and not try to hurry that much too far. When you are in those thoughts, in those thoughts when you are trying to find out, or thoughts are energies, because when you are in the thought, it spreads throughout your whole energy system, that you shift into that kind of person that is just being the thought of trying to figure out what is the mission. So relax yourself that way. Stop trying to find your mission in that way that you are doing it right now, because that is not the way to find out. Because that is very restricting and closing you to actually feel more into where you can go in the next second, what you can do, and so on. And then when you feel more expanded and more calm within yourself where you are, you would feel in some way, or you could feel more even without knowing what it actually is. You would have deeper feeling within yourself that you are actually really heading there. You have to, for example, the channel, Ivetka, was using this, or many times was using, when something is so closing that you feel like you cannot move, you don't know where to move, and so on. Everything what is weighting you down, take it. For example, for you, it can be like this, like, what is my mission? I have to find it. So those thoughts are something that is not so beneficial for you. So create the opposite of it. How would it feel into feeling of that you don't have any mission at all? Like, how that would feel to you, and can you actually surrender into it and feel it, that it's okay to feel that you might not have any mission. And that actually is a very strong way, or that could be permission slip, hopefully also for you, to shift the state where you are in, that this would actually create the perfect resonance where you would finally start to head into the direction, or feel more open and more flowing to the direction that is maybe now seems to be closed, but it's not. It's always there, but you need to open yourself this way, for example. So you can, for example, try this with, and you can use it on many different things, like that you want to manifest something, but you don't know like how to. You cannot feel the vision properly, that it's somehow the vision of what you want to manifest feels like you don't have something for it to manifest it. It would take a long time, and even if you would have all the time, right now you feel like it's impossible. So just let it go, turn it into a positive in some way, and then paradoxically can open you to actually step on the road that would lead you there.
Okay. So, okay. So can you suggest a career path for me, or
what?
I have to find that? So like a career path, so job.
Yeah, career path. Path? What?
So working. So job.
Yeah, job. Okay. Career and job. Oh, not really. Well, this is also what we were feeling a lot before. Do you need to... Yeah, I'm now remembering also. Now when the flow comes in more again. As a reply to your energy, that we strongly felt before, that we mostly would like to really encourage you into trusting yourself more and tuning, because when you want to act and be more active in this world, you need to harvest or put focus also into your masculine energy, because that is something that is helping you to manifest things. So first, if you have this free time that you still can give yourself to work on yourself, then use this, for example, in some even small things that you feel like you want to do during the days, and maybe you are holding back. Tune into more into your masculine energy, and feel how it would feel, and it can actually, when you do it, even open like a suddenly drive and energy to do it more, So tuning more into those masculine energies of yourself. Of course, it's not about like making yourself a man or behaving like a man, but it's something that is still part of you. You just need to tune more into it and own it. You can be still female and feminine and everything, but you will integrate more of that masculine part into your femininity in some way. It can blend in a way.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you. I would like to know more about my hybrid children.
Yes.
How many do I have?
That's not an easy question or answer to channel in the beginning of the connection. Or, I mean, it's better when you would be asking more specific question and emotional that would help me to connect with them more, and then I would be able to feel more energies of them, so I can give you like if it's there more or less. So not starting with this kind of like a specific question would be better. So if I would tell you there are 5, like next, what is next question? So do you want to connect with them?
Yes, I would like to connect with them and know more about my connection with my galactic family.
Yeah, those questions that you already placed. Also for children, I am turning in a way my energy through Shayla to the children and invited them. She already invited them to connect with, and yeah, and I also remember that she was connecting me with a specific child before also. But now I feel there are more. But yes, the answer for like how many is complicated, because it really depends on what you would consider to be your child. Because as you may know, children has a different DNAs, DNA and so on, like a mix of DNA. So it depends on different things, how to count them, because there can be like what you would consider them to, or what child you would be considering yours, like according to what, but then there is the emotional or the bond with them. And so the question would be better asked with how many of them you have this parental and deep even role model in some way bond, because some of them may not be so much of your children, but you have this very strong bond with them, and that would be more accurate answer for you, because you I know in your heart are more interested in knowing about those bonds than the numbers in a way, like really the DNA of the children. So you have many deep bonds with the children. There are some of them that are connected to you more in an energetic way, like having the imprint of your energy on them, being in some way their distant mother, but also there are some of them that have also your DNA or part of your DNA. And there can be, I feel like maybe range like 6 probably, or it really depends on the level of DNA they have or the imprint, because there are those who have a physical part of you from you, and those with the energetic, and some can have like also DNA and the energetic. So there is also this kind of that's why it's not so easy to answer that question. But the the answer also why you actually have so many bonds with the children is again that you interact with them, with your energy, and the children actually can help you to find yourself more and your passions, because what you share with them is something that is that you can also manifest, or is bonded with who you are as a person, and is part of your excitement that you are searching for. What can you do more? But even also when we go back also to that previous question, there are stepping stones that you need to take, and the path will open the information there. So it really cannot give you all those stepping stones or what will open there. So you need to go through it yourself. But if you would tune into the children energy and the bonds you have and your interactions with them you have, they can help you to open to those excitements you are unconsciously for your lower self, your grounded self, sharing with them. Then they can tell you in a way and share with you like what are those excitements, what you are sharing with them, and in that excitement you can feel more of yourself. There is a lot of emotions that you offer them, very loving and supporting. So maybe you could, this is all okay what I'm feeling right now, that you could try to feel into way to connect with the children, to actually getting a job, being with the children in some way. The kindergarten was the first thing that came to me. I'm not sure if you are able to manifest something like that with education. I guess you would need, or I don't know. But that could be something that if you want to connect more with the children, this could be very helpful to get into the resonance of playfulness. Of course, it's not so easy to be really that kind of teacher for little children, but in that kind of job you would also have opportunities to personally grow and so on through challenges. But when you would overcome them and really feel into the playfulness of it and find the lightness in the situations and so on, then this is like a best way, even in a general, to feel more into the hybrid children state that you are experiencing when you are, for example, sleeping and so on. So it will remind you what you already experienced with them, and bring that energy close to that you are still and always experiencing in some way, but you are not conscious. So this can be also the way to tune into those energies. Did you want to add something?
Are there any names that I can
Feel into?
have? Yeah, feel into.
Yeah, this is the part that the doubts come in again, because I always get the names when I'm drawing, and it comes in a different ways, not always the same, like just asking like what is the name. It's some process of getting the name also. But yeah, of course, I am just limiting myself with my thing that it has to be hard. Well, I felt there is a boy, even before, but also now. And I am not best with the names in general and English names. But what I am feeling many times, it's actually through me at least, the names want to get translated through English in some way, in more like English names. But I feel that you can actually, the Shayla is giving me the help for you, that you can actually ask your children to give you some kind of way to get their names, or to create with them that either through synchronicity, that you would feel something special in some situation, when you would hear something and so, or would remind you, and you would feel some excitement suddenly, that's or you wouldn't know like why you feel suddenly so aware of something that you heard or experienced, and in that thing can be like a nagging of the children, that they want to tell you like, yes, this is close to my name, or this is my name, or something like that. So maybe you can try it on yourself. If I cannot do it now. But I am sharing the energy, of it. So it's not just about the words, verbal channeling, what I deliver. It's about the energy. I'm always trying to be grounded and share the energy. And even when I feel the children and so on, I am doing like I'm sending that energy, and I am allowing the energy to still continue, not to get just into me and for me to feel it, but I am sharing the energy with you. So I hope you feel something within your energy field, and you can receive the downloads and energies that can actually unwrap through dreams, for example, after this and so on. So you can have stronger experience after this and feel them more and connect.
Thank you. I would like to know more about my extra dimensional contact that I've had when I was younger. Do you need me to explain more about it?
Yes.
You
need to share the memory in a way. Share the memory and the vibration of it, like you remember it.
I just remember one in particular. I'm not too sure how old I was, but I was laying in bed at night, and I saw and felt this very light being come into my bedroom, and the room was very dark, but I felt paralyzed, but I was awake, and I was sleeping, but then I woke up and I felt like I couldn't move, and that this being was in front of me. And I just would like to know a little bit more of what that was about.
And how did you feel?
I think I felt a bit of fear first, and then kind of, I can't really remember how I felt.
I started to feel different energy, and I was somehow even seeing it or so. So I then have a intention to let the being itself to connect with me if they want, and I felt the energy. So that means it was some positive or so encounter, or positive, that it was not negative or so, because the being then wouldn't like to come through me. But I saw in a way like a very tall being
Yeah.
And I didn't see it like a physical being, but more like an energetic cloud of it, shaped into the being, let's say.
Yeah.
So that's what you saw? Or?
Yes, that's what I remember. I have other experiences that may hold a lot more energy.
Yeah, if you want to share.
Yes. I was in a room downstairs in a building, in a house, and I was with other young people. I think I was about 5, maybe around that age, and I was with maybe 6 or 7 other family members, but they were young as well, so they were my cousins, and I was I felt all of a sudden I froze, but I felt like I was the only one in the room that was connecting with these beings that I was looking at through this massive window. And there was two very beautiful light beings, tall and slim, and I felt they were connecting to me. But I was frozen. I felt frozen, but I felt like I was the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I was feeling, that you were, in a way, as you describe it, I feel or see it in some way like almost like a movie. But what I was feeling like that you are in a way like a special, that you are so open to feel them and see them.
Yeah.
And I feel that there is some connection between those two, or you said two, right?
Yeah, two.
And the other being, but I don't know. I see those, like as you said, like light shining. But the first one that you described, I saw like a dark being, but it doesn't mean like shadow almost. But it doesn't mean that it's just the memory of it, the vibration probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, I felt while you were speaking, now I have a third chakra activation strong. While you were speaking, I received that, yes, those are in a way guides, and they are more like a spirit guides than the extraterrestrials, but even like they can belong to certain type of energy or so, but I felt there are less or not so physical, physical beings. So it's not about like your now I sense like it was the manifestation of the non-physical consciousness into like showing itself to you. But now is the question, what are those the higher consciousnesses? I felt something like in a way angels, but something this type of energy. But I feel like it may have something to do with some star. I was feeling resonance with something like a Sirius, or from those parts of the more non-physical beings that are not really incarnated, or I am not sure if they ever were, but they are kind of like a part of consciousnesses that are really manifesting as your guardian angels. I now feel like popping on my heart. Guardian angels or something like that. And so for the first encounter, so this is what I feel from that where you saw the two, and getting back to the later one. So I feel that there is the sense of familiarity with it, that it is like it was the same type of experience, or the same type of being probably, but just the way of, because when you were a child you were in a different state, differently open as when you are adult, and it's almost like a downgrade getting into adulthood, that you experience some shadows. So it's like when you don't see clearly, you don't feel, and so on. It's because of some kind of fears or doubts about things that you experience, and so that's why I see it as a dark, like a without light. I mean, physical in some way, light that I would see, that it feels like this. But then the question I was also asking in myself, like the other, the energy, to this, like, what was the purpose of this paralyzed thing that you experienced? So I wanted to ask the being And from the beginning, I didn't feel anything like that someone would like to harm you. That's the first thing. And even, I'm not sure, I'm not getting any specific feeling about it, but it was something like they probably were working with you like many other times, but you just allowed yourself to wake up in different stage than before, that you wanted to remember part of it, or to give yourself some hint that these things are happening to you from some reason, or that the beings are connecting with you and working with you. But I don't feel there is anything like a really negative, or that would be going against your free will or something like that. I don't know, do you have some specific question for this, or for the being?
I think I just would like to know if there's any messages from any other beings that are that you can easily connect to.
Messages, well, the first, what we already shared with Shayla before, about these things like masculine energy, and to relax yourself more in the conscious state you are in this world, on the earth, and so on. That was coming already from all the energies that are connecting with you, because Shayla is more connected, and she was sharing that with me already before. Those things and I was feeling a lot of energy, not just hers, that I was connecting with. So really, there is not really it's like a specific or the magical, messages or something. That it's similar to like what I was saying to Shane. That is always about that. This is the time on the earth when we need to take care of ourselves, and even to see that we are really working not just for ourselves, all the earth or something like that. That this is the very transformational time that is going beyond the earth and into many different places. So there is a lot of focus on supporting us to actually handling all the transformation that we are doing for many different species and beings and levels of consciousness, not just for ourselves. So that's why it's so important for them also to make sure that we are fine in a way, and doing good. So that is most important always.
Yeah. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, okay.
I would like to know how I created this disease in my body that I have right now. It's called endometriosis.
I'm not sure what is that. And can you describe what is it, or?
It's okay if you can't tap into it. That's alright. Is my time over, or?
Well, it's about like the channeling. You have to pull the energy through me in some way. It's not that I wouldn't have any way to answer you, but when you are holding energy back, I cannot give you an energetic answer towards that. So you would need to put more of your energy really into it, because there is the energy from you that would project, and energy would come through me back to you in some way. So the channeler needs the questions in some way, or the sharing really, well, not really just the words, but the energy. And because I, as a person, don't know exactly what that is, I don't have any relation towards what you just said, so.
Yes, I understand. Well, I might ask a simpler question then.
Mm-hmm.
And I have energy behind it. When I speak to people about my spiritual experiences, I can hear and feel an energy in my right ear,
Mm-hmm.
like a yeah, it's just a strong like energy in my right ear, and I would just like to know what that is.
Through right ear. Yeah, I'm grounding myself a little bit more. So when you are talking to other people, you hear these things, and
Specifically when I'm talking to other people about my
spiritual. Okay, so I missed that part, like that is strong connection with it. Okay, so I'm obviously getting tired also. My focus. I feel the answer is there, but I feel like my tiredness is also not working well right now with this. But yeah, I feel like there is something about of course it's the feeling activation of the some frequencies and shifts within you. So there are many levels of it, like why this happens, but one thing is that when you do that, you are opening yourself more, and also you are transmitting some energy through you, and you can then hear like the energy is being channeled through you from you, because you have a higher self and those connections. So where you are sharing that can be part of it, that you just hear how is it being delivered to the person that you are speaking to, that needs probably some specific energy also. So you are connecting with them, with their higher self and so on, and so these energies are working just automatically through you. And so that can be one thing, that's why you hear it. And I'm not so sure like if it's specific just for a right or left ear or so, but it can be one thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think the time's up for me, so
Okay.
Thank you so much, Shayla and Navita.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much also that you joined. So there is one more. Okay, I see. Okay, so he is not here, so I guess we can finish. Yeah, it's already 2 hours. So anyway, okay, so I made it like 2 hours, my first 2 hours of channeling. I think it was enough. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you everybody for joining, and yeah, I felt that Shayla also wanted to close this conversation with something, but I'm not sure if I'm able. She wanted to just, thank and give appreciation, and she's excited, this kind of stuff.
I want to thank you. It was wonderful.
Yes, thank you also. So, good night then. Good morning and good day, because you are in the US. For me, good night.